ẹ ká sọ èèyàn lẹ́gbẹ́ ni. ẹ jẹ́ kí a gbàdúrà. Ọlọ́run ọba alágbára jùlọ, ẹlẹ́dàá àti alákòóso ayé òun ọ̀run, àwa ń bẹ̀ yín wípé kí ẹ wá ṣe amọ̀nà wa, kí àwa bá lè máa rìn ní ọ̀nà òtítọ́ pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ àti àánú sí ara wa. Ẹ wá fún wa ní oore ọ̀fẹ́ yín kí àwa lè máa ṣe gbogbo ohun tí yóò mú ìgbéga, ìṣọ̀kan, ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀, ìdùnnú àti àlékún àìsíkì orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà lápapọ̀ àti ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ní pàápàá. Àmín. Ìfàṣẹ sí ìjíròrò ìpàdé. Fruits and proceedings of Tuesday, 31st January 2023. Page 584. (585). (586). I've checked the vote and proceeding of 31st January 2023 and approval is hereby given. Iṣẹ́ tí gómìnà fi ránṣẹ́.
Olùdarí sáà ẹ káàsán sáà gbogbo wọn lè gbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ẹ káàsán o a kò rí ìwé kankan gbà láti ọ̀dọ̀ gómìnà.
Àwọn ìfilọ̀ mìíràn.
Olùdarí sáà kò sí.
Ìwé ìfẹ̀hónúhàn.
Kò sí sáà.
Ọ̀rọ̀ pàjáwìrì lórí àǹfààní aráàlú. Kò sí. Àlàyé ara ẹni. Àbọ̀ ìwádìí. Ètò ìmúṣẹ́ṣe tòní olórí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ tó pọ̀ jùlọ.
Olùdarí. Ìgbékalẹ̀ àbọ̀ ìwádìí ti ẹlẹ́ni mọ́kànlá ni ó wà lórí àtẹ ní ọ̀sán yìí. Mo fẹ́ tọrọ gáfárà pé kí a tó tẹ̀síwájú lórí ìtẹ̀sílẹ̀ náà wípé kí ẹ gbà wá láyè láti ṣe àbọ̀ ìwádìí náà ní èdè àjèjì tí a mọ̀ sí Gẹ̀ẹ́sì nítorí wípé àyè ò gbà wá láti ṣe ẹ̀dà àkọsílẹ̀ náà ní èdè abínibí èyí tí ò ní lè mú kí a ṣe ní èdè abínibí àfi tá a bá máa kà tá a máa ṣe ògbufọ̀ ẹ̀ ní Yorùbá èyí tí ó máa jẹ́ kí ọ̀nà jìn púpọ̀ ká tó ṣe ìtẹ̀sílẹ̀ náà tán. Òtúndúró náà mo dábàá wípé ní kókó ibi tí a dé yìí kí a mú ètò òfin ilé tó gbà wá tó fàyè gbà wá láti sọ èdè abínibí lénìí fún gbogbo nǹkan tá a fẹ́ ṣe ká mú ràn ká lè ṣe ìtẹ́sílẹ̀ yìí ní ká lè ṣe ìjábọ̀ yìí ní èdè òyìnbó tí a fi kọ́ tí a dè ní àǹfààní láti yí padà mo dá alábàá.
ẹ ṣe aṣòfin Ògúndèmú.
ẹ ṣeun olùdarí mo dìde láti kí àbá náà lẹ́yìn.
ẹ ṣe gbogbo ẹni tí ó bá fara mọ́ kó sọ wípé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn tí ò fara mọ́ kó sọ wípé bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ àwọn tó sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni náà pọ̀ jùlọ. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My second motion this afternoon is to move that the House reverts to plenary to Committee of the Whole, dissolve the Committee of the Whole to take the report of 11-man ad hoc committee on the conduct of Gateway Zone CDA Magodo G.R.A. Phase 1 Executive in relation to the House resolution on the petition against public incitement, unlawful collusion with NTDA officials, unlawful obstruction, injurious falsehood, public disturbance, and conduct likely to cause breach of the peace perpetrated by Oyebode, Ojomu, purportedly acting for Gateway Zone Community Development Association CDA, Magodo G.R.A. General Manager, New Towns Employment Authority, NTDA, Mr. Adenrele and others. I so move.
Thank you. Honorable Said Obafemi. All those in favor say, all those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, report of the 11-man committee, our committee on the conduct of Gateway Zone, the title having been read, having been read before, I proceed to the body of the report. Preamble. Further to the resolution of the House passed at its plenary session on Thursday, 24 June 2021, on the petition against public incitement, unlawful collusion with NTDA, disturbance and conduct to cause breach of the peace perpetrated by Oyebode Ojomu, purportedly acting for Gateway Zone Community Development Association CDA Magodo G.R.A. General Manager, New Towns Development Authority NTDA, Mr. Adenrele and others. Mr. Speaker constituted an 11-man ad hoc committee to investigate the conduct of the executives of the Gateway Zone Community Development Association CDA Magodo G.R.A. and level of compliance with the resolution and report its findings to the House. Mr. Speaker, before I go further, I wish to reiterate that though this petition was committed on this committee was set up on 24th June 2021, we are bringing the report this late because of the complexity of the subject matter requiring a lot of documentations, and we had to take care to ensure that we have all the documents to work with. We can also note that there have been series of breaks, short breaks in between, intertwining with our preparedness to present this report. Thank God we are here with the report today. The resolution of the House in this regard are stated below. 1. That the Office of Drainage Services should design its drainage alignment and setback for the land in question before commencement of any construction, while Ojoku family /WAVL properties should submit its layout to Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development for approval. 2. That the state government should be fully responsible for the cost of the drainage requirement to serve as compensation to the Ojoku family for the long years of hardship suffered, to serve as compensation to the Ojoku family for the long years of hardship suffered due to the acquisition of the land, of the family land, by the government, which eventually was not used for the purpose of overriding public interest. 3. Ojoku family /WAVL properties can bear the cost of the drainage requirement that affects its portion of land if they so desire. This, however, is to be regulated and guided by the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development and Office of Drainage Services. 4. Office of Drainage Services should ensure strict compliance with required standard, and the developer WAVL properties in turn gives full cooperation to the Office of Drainage Services. 5. The New Town Development Authority NTDA, in conjunction with the Lagos State Signage and Advertisement Agency LSHA, should remove the caveat post mounted at the entrance gate of Gateway Zone 5 Magodo G.R.A. estate. 6. The chairman Ikorodu local government should ensure that access through the Gateway Zone 5 Magodo G.R.A. is granted to the Ojoku family WAVL properties based on mutual agreement with the CDA that further road maintenance /development costs will be incurred by both parties. 7. Subsequently, individual developers in the Gateway Zone 5 Magodo G.R.A. must obtain approval of building plan from the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development before embarking on any construction. And 8. In view of the utter disregard to the House through the executive of the Gateway Zone 5 Community Development Association CDA Magodo G.R.A. on the above titled petition, the House directs the chairman Ikorodu local government to sanction Mr. Oyebode, Ojomu, and chairman and other members of the executive of the CDA to serve as deterrent to others. Membership of the committee are stated 11 in number. The committee secretariat members are stated 7 in number. Invited stakeholders, for the House to note those we invited before we came to this conclusion, before we came to this report: TPL Idris Salako, TPL Dr. Idris Salako, Commissioner, Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, as he then was. 2. Mr. Bodia Guru, Permanent Secretary, Lands Bureau. 3. Mrs. Kikelomo Sonyaolu, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs. 4. Mr. Olutomi Joseph Shanguwawa, Permanent Secretary, Surveyor General. Mrs. Ololade Ajetumobi, Executive Secretary, Lands Bureau. Mrs. Joy O. Awe, Director, Land Services, Land Bureau. TPL Olakunle Aboyeji, General Manager, New Town Development Authority. Engineer Adegbite M.O., Director, Office of Drainage Services. Mrs. Sherifat Ewumido Sumo, Director, Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs. Mrs. Agumbiade Olubukola, Assistant Director, Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs. Mrs. Adenrele Oluwatoyin, Assistant Director, Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs. Princess Bola Bada, Chairman, Ikorodu LCDA. Eight, Mr. Olujobi S. Adegbola, Council Manager, Ikorodu LCDA. 9, Mr. Mogoli Andrew, Head of Department Agriculture and Social Services, Ikorodu LCDA. Mr. Oludosu Oyepola, GV Chambers, Alhaji Latif Amadu, Ojoko family, Mr. Sulaiman Ismaila, Ojoko family, Chiveletu Adisa Ojoko family. The term of reference given to this committee includes 1. Embark on an inspection tour of the Gateway Zone Estate, to hold press conference on the subject matter on behalf of the House, to determine whether or not House resolution on the petition has been implemented, and to investigate the powers, privileges, and local standard of the Gateway Zone Estate, executive, to have taken the decision, including but not limited to the appropriate title, approvals, and other related official requirements / documents. The methodology towards achieving terms of reference as follows. 1. Request for documents from MDAs and other parties. Two, meeting held with the ministry, departments, and MDAs that connected with the subject matter at 3 different times, and physical inspection to the site. The photographs of the visits are attached as Annex 1 to 4. 4.0, submission made at the meetings. Ikorodu LCDA, Mrs. Bada, the chairperson in Ikorodu Local Council Development Area, informed the committee that the Gateway Zone CDA Magodo G.R.A. Phase 1 is duly registered with the CDA, and its registration was done in 2016. Mrs. Mogoli Andrew, Head of Department Agriculture and Social Services, Ikorodu LCDA, confirmed the CDA registration with Ikorodu LCDA as well as CDA's payment of its statutory dues. He informed the committee that the CDA has been paying its annual dues except for the current fiscal year. He also informed that the current CDA chairman, Mr. Adekoya Adebanjo Adeshina, along with other members of CDA executives, have been carrying out major community development projects such as installation of road interlocking, building of estate gates, drainage alignment, and drainage setback, as well as a modern town hall. Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, Mrs. Sherifat Ewumidosumo, Director, Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, informed the committee that the CDA registered with the ministry in 2017 and has been very active as a CDA, particularly with respect to corporate social responsibility CSR projects. He stated that the CDA had been paying statutory dues payable to the ministry and is up to date in its financial obligation, with a certificate issued to that effect. Upon questioning, she affirmed that the issuance of current year renewal certificate to the CDA by the ministry was a breach of procedure, having established that the CDA has not paid its levies to the LCDA for the current year, which must be cleared before it is issued with a certificate by the ministry. New Town Development Authority, TPL Olakunle J. Aboyeji, General Manager, New Town Development Authority, informed that in compliance with resolution of the House, the agency has taken down the caveat post at the entrance of the gateways from First City Magodo G.R.A. Phase 1. He also disclosed that the determination of the claims and concerns of the gateway CDA is to be addressed by the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. He insisted that these issues border on the argument of the CDA that the land in question cannot be developed because, according to them, it could lead to traffic, security, and drainage challenges in the LCDA. Engineer Adenrele M.O., a director from the Office of Drainage Services, briefed the committee on the status of the implementation of the resolution of the House concerning the design of the drainage alignment and drainage setback for the said land before construction commences. He said that the design is not ready, explaining that once it is finalized, Ojomu family could thereafter apply for drainage clearance, which would need to be approved by the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. He assured the committee that the design will be implemented in accordance with the resolution of the House. He further informed the committee that the Office of the Drainage Services would ordinarily have preferred the land to be left in the present state, being a wetland. This is because the area involved is a floodplain area which is best to be left in its natural state. He stated that the Drainage Office has, however, taken action in consonance with the resolution of the House, emphasizing that there is a need to ensure the development to be done in the area will be safe and not jeopardize the floodplain. He mentioned that there are rare species of baboons inhabiting the land, which are worth preserving, since there is no intention to turn the area into a game reserve. Since there is no intention to turn the area into a game reserve, should be ignored and not be taken to be part of this report. It was just a jotting that was erroneously included in the report. He therefore assured the committee that the office is ready to design a drainage alignment and setback, and as well meet with the Ojomu family WAVL properties once the design is finalized, so that they can proceed on the application for drainage services clearance. Ministry of Physical Planning. The Commissioner, Mr. Idris Alako, stated that the area being a floodplain should be left as buffer zone and not developed. Likewise, other wetland floodplain within the state. However, he stated that there are previous agreements between the individual families and Lagos State government that 10 acres out of the land should be left undeveloped to serve as buffer zone for flooding. He further explained that due to the pressing demands for land areas for various construction purposes, the state government agreed during a state ESCO meeting that the floodplain reserve area could be developed provided strict physical compliance, strict physical planning and environmental guidelines are followed. He concluded that there is need to put a proper engineering design in place for development of the land in issue, disclosing that the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development has prepared a development plan which will need the concurrent approval of the Office of Drainage Services to enable the ministry take further steps in this regard. Ojoko family, Mr. Ayeola G.N. Chamber informed, that's the lawyer to the family, informed the committee that the family has not submitted its layout to the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development, but had gone ahead to the ministry believing they will be of assistance in drawing out a building layout that will best suit the ministry requirement in order to avoid possible rejection. He assured that the layout will be delivered to the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development in consonance with the resolution of the House. Office of Surveyor General. The Surveyor General of the state identified two communities, Olowoyera and Magodo, on the map is submitted to the committee. It disclosed that Olowoyera community is owned by Karim Agumbiade family, while Magodo is owned by the family of Ojoko, according to the 1977 government accession. He also stated that a portion of the land covering 14.61 hectares of the excised portion of land of Olowoyera falls within the swamp belt of Magodo Agilinti area. He explained further that there is a portion within Olowoyera which separates Olowoyera land from Magodo land. The gorge partition is in the land in issue, which Gateway Zone does not want developed. Lands Bureau, the Permanent Secretary of the Lands Bureau explained that the land was excised to communities including Magodo community, while families like the Ojoko family was compensated for the acquisition. Ojoko family of Magodo was paid the sum of 237,155 naira as at 17th May 1978 by check in respect of unexhausted development on the land measuring a total of 296.44 acres. He further explained that the wet parcel of land in issue forms about 20% of the land excised to Magodo community under the ownership of the Ojoko family. Observations. The committee observes as follows. 1. A wet parcel of land situated in the Magodo community of the state falls under government action in 1967, which was excised subsequently. Certain part of Magodo land was excised, that is true, was excised while compensation was paid to families for land not excised. Ojoko family of Magodo was paid the sum of 237.152 naira in 1978 through a check in respect of the unexhausted development on the land measuring a total of 284. 4. Office of Drainage Services is yet to comply with the resolution of the House in respect of designing a drainage alignment and setback for the land in question, while the physical planning and urban development for approval. 5. The Office of Drainage Services needs to wait for the approval of the layout from the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development before it could execute the drainage channel of the land. The Office of Drainage Services has not given approval for drainage channel accession to include the drainage alignment and setback for the land in question. The Office of Drainage Services does not have the funds to finance the project and has therefore been engaging the Ojoko family and community development association in stakeholders meeting as regards plans for the construction of the drainage channels with the possibility of a public-private partnership PPP arrangement between the Office of Drainage Services and Ojoko family in respect of funding the projects. 7. Ojoko family WAVL Properties Limited has not submitted its building plan to the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development for approval, but is ready to bear the cost of the drainage alignment and setback that affects their portion of the land. New Towns Development Authority has taken down the caveat posts at the entrance of the Gateway Zone CDA Magodo, G.R.A. Phase 1, C Annex 1, and submitted a report emphasizing that the CDA reaction during the exercise of removing the caveat sign at the main estate gate could have led to loss of lives and property if not for the immediate reinforcement of security personnel to maintain peace in the area. The Gateway Zone 5 CDA Magodo's G.R.A. Phase 1 being a registered CDA with the LCDA has granted the Ojoko family properties access to their land through the estate main gate Annex 2. See Annex 2. The Gateway Zone CDA Magodo Phase 1 has not paid statutory levy to the LCDA for the current year 2021, thus not having the requisite financial standing required of a CDA. The Gateway Zone 1 Community Development Association was also duly registered with the state government in the year 2017. However, its renewal fee of 25,000 naira for registration for year 2021 is yet to be paid. The Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs breached statutory procedure by issuing an annual renewal certificate to the Gateway Zone CDA Magodo G.R.A. Phase 1 without clearance from the LCDA. The land in question is developable. However, drainage channels and setback must be constructed. Proper engineering measures adhered to with layout approval by the Ministry of Physical Planning before any developmental project can be carried out on the land. The state government has given approval to a private contractor to construct drainage channels from Agilinti to Adenrele Bridge for over 3 years. However, no physical work has commenced on the axis due to paucity of funds. The Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development agreed to give approval to Ojoko family and its property limited for their building layout provided they meet with necessary requirements, including proper engineering measures to carry out the drainage of the area. 6. Still, some parts of the floodplain have been allocated to individuals over the years. Sorry, that's 17. 18. Based on the provisional submission given to the Office of Drainage Services, the disputed land does not obstruct free flow and cannot obstruct free flow of the canal, and its topography cannot cause flooding within Gateway Zone 5 CDA adjoining Magodo Phase 1 as alleged. Neither can its development constrain traffic in any way. Due to increased demand of developmental structures The state government agreed that such land known as floodplain can be developed provided all necessary requirements are approved by the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. 20. Upon consideration of the evidences and claims made before the committee, it is established that the wetland in dispute, measuring 325 acres, forms part of excised land to Magodo community by virtue of the fact that Ojoko family of Magodo community are the traditional owners of the said land who have exercised acts of ownership over the said land by selling out part of it over the years. And 21, it was observed that the parcel of land in dispute appeared abandoned and therefore elicited the interest of some individuals, not members of Ojoko family, for personal future appropriation. Recommendations. The ad hoc committee adopts all the earlier recommendations of the Land Matters Committee on this petition. 2. The portion of land in dispute measuring 3.25 acres form part of the parcel of land that has been in possession of Ojoko family and which family has exercised various acts of possession, including alienation to individual without any hindrance. 3. Lands Bureau should cause certificate of occupancy CFO to Ojoko family in respect of the portion of land measuring 325.48 acres for developmental purposes. 4. The Office of Drainage Services is mandated to design a drainage alignment and drainage setback for the layout to be submitted by Ojoko family /WAVL properties expeditiously. 5. The Office of Drainage Services should give approval for Ojoko family /WAVL. 6. The Office of Drainage Services and Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development should ensure strict compliance with the regulations, standards, and guidelines regarding development of the portion of land. 7. Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development should give approval to the layout submitted by Ojoko family WAVL properties and offer them every assistance that could accelerate development of the landed property in question. 8. The chairperson Ikosi LCDA should ensure that the access through the gateway Zone 5 Magodo G.R.A. is granted to Ojoko family /WAVL property on mutual agreement with the CDA that further road maintenance development costs will be incurred by both parties. And 14. The Ministry of Local Government and Development Affairs should ensure that it issues renewal certificate to CDA only after establishing that such CDA have fulfilled their financial obligations in respect of payment of current year renewal fee to the appropriate local government and local council development area. On behalf of the committee, I wish to express our appreciation to the Right Honourable Speaker for the trust and confidence reposed in us in the successful completion of the exercise. We also appreciate Mr. Clerk, the Clerk of the House, and members of the Secretariat for all necessary assistance granted during discharging our duty in respect of this job. Signed, Honorable Agumbiade, S.O.B. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Majority Leader. The Deputy Chief Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the report as presented be adopted for debate.
Honorable Tobo.
I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. Oh, who goes first? Honorable Tobo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Well, I am part of the committee, but I am happy and delighted to see this report coming out the way it is. Well, there were some observations that has been cured by this recommendation. And my agitation then was, how on earth the government acquired this land and the traditional title or the traditional owners were given a wetland, while the better parts were allocated to those who come to take from government. I feel for future, to take care of itself, we need to work on this, sir. So that at least the traditional owners must be given preference. That is what agitates my mind. Secondly, looking at the value, what was paid to them, and the amount of 267,000 that was paid to the family in 1978. When you look at the number of hectares of land that were allocated. The third one is the authority that the CDA exhibited. I don't know if the constitution of the CDA allow CDAs to show that power, essence of debarring people from getting to a land that was officially allocated to them. Having said that, sir, I want us to, as much as practicable, to ensure that the Land Bureau issues the certificate. After all, fiscal planning have said the land is developed, is possible for us to develop that land, and in lieu of demand for land around that area. So we should ensure that section number 2 of the recommendation, that the Land Bureau issue C of O to those landowners, so that they will not suffer double jeopardy. Secondly, sir, that the Office of Drainage Services should, as a matter of ordinance, design a drainage that will work, so that they can have access to their land too. And finally, sir, that the physical planning should create an access road within the Magodo phase 5 to allow them to have access to their land. That will have done justice to humanity, and this report will have been a reference point in future. For now, that is my contribution, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to salute the courage of the House Committee, the ad hoc committee, for doing a very thorough job. Not only thorough, Magodo area has been in the recent time crisis reading in terms of various court judgments, even up to Supreme Court level. But this assignment embarked on by this ad hoc committee will, from my own personal point of view, bring peace to that area. The landowners, the traditional landowners, definitely know they can get judgment if they approach the house. I think the committee has done a very good job, and all the recommendations are very just. And I believe that the resolution of the House to be passed on this should be ensured that they are strictly carried out. Finally, sir, I think there must be punishment for whosoever officials that err in carrying out their responsibility. The New Town Development Authority, they should be called to order in some cases, because much is being heard about them in terms of the delegation of duties. And I think we need to speak to them such that whatever they need do, they should do it on time before it snowballs into crisis. Lastly, well, we have had a report in terms of the wetland. It has been said that it cannot affect the fauna and the flora, inhibiting that very area. It is important we create room for flooding whenever the final design is being done by physical planning and the office of the drainage service. So I stand by the committee report, and I want to recommend that the House look into it critically and give it a passage. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable, do you want to speak on this?
No, sir. Since our colleagues agree with the report, I just want to use the opportunity.
Don't use any opportunity now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Majority Leader, you have something to say? Your light is on.
Yes, sir. I just want to inform the House that all the issues raised by Honorable Tobu are clearly part of the resolution recommendations of the committee as to access, as to CFO. Everything is captured in the recommendation of the House. And maybe Honorable Tobu will have a second run through of the recommendation. He will see that all the issues he raised are already taken care of by the recommendation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. But Majority Leader, I just want you to look at recommendation 1. The way and manner it is couched, it looks more like an observation. There are one or two, it must be recouched to look like a recommendation. Recommendation 1 looks more like an observation. The recommendation 1. Just go through it, and if that's the only thing I say.
You are right, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I think you do the necessary amendments as appropriate, and can this Honorable Ariafini?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to move that the recommendations of the committee be adopted as a resolution of the House.
As a resolution of the House, right? Thank you. Honorable Abiru.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I second the motion as moved.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye. All those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House reverts to plenary. Assume.
Seconding the motion, Honorable Shola Jasaka.
I rise to second the motion as moved.
All those in favor say aye. All those in favor say aye. All those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, foremost, I wish to move that we resuscitate the rules of the House on language, and we revert to Yoruba speaking, since the purpose for which we suspended that aspect of the rule has been accomplished. The report has been rendered and done with. I so move.
Thank you. Honorable Luola Tunji.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion as moved.
All those in favor say aye. All those who are against say nay. The ayes have it. Olórí ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ tó pọ̀ jùlọ.
Ẹ ṣé olùdarí. Nígbà tí a lọ sí ìjókòó gbogbo ilé láti gbọ́ ìgbékalẹ̀ ìjábọ̀ ìgbìmọ̀ alábẹ́sẹ́kẹ́lẹ́ ẹlẹ́ni mọ́kànlá tí a yàn láti wo awuyewuye tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Ojoko family ní ìlú Magodo phase 5. Alága ìgbìmọ̀ náà ó ka ìjábọ̀ pérépéré àwọn ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin wọ́n tẹ́tí gbẹ̀lẹ̀jẹ́ kalẹ̀ láti gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ náà, láti gbọ́ ìjábọ̀ náà. Wọ́n dẹ̀ fi wọ́n pe alága ìgbìmọ̀ náà sí àkíyèsí àwọn nǹkan kan, àwáwí àwábọ̀, àwálọ àwábọ̀. Gbogbo ọmọ ilé fi ọwọ́ sí wípé àwọn àṣàyàn pàtàkì tí ìgbìmọ̀ ìdídàkọ́kọ́ ẹ̀ tí wọ́n kọ sílẹ̀ fún ilé láti gbà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ohun àmúṣẹ́ṣe lé lórí wọ́n fọwọ́ sí. A dẹ̀ padà sí ìjókòó ìjíròrò nígbàtí olùdarí ṣe àkíyèsí pé ìkan wà nínú ọ̀rọ̀ kókó yẹn tó ń láti jẹ́ ohun tí a ṣe àkíyèsí tí ò gbọdọ̀ jẹ́ ohun tí a ṣe kókó tá a kọ ní kànpá ní kókó. A jẹ́ pé nígbàtí a lọ sí ìjókòó ìgbìmọ̀ gbogbo ilé ohun tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn. Ẹ ṣé olùdarí.
Ẹ ṣé olórí ẹgbẹ́ tó pọ̀ jùlọ. Mo rí pé àtẹ̀kan Magodo ni mo ń gbọ́. Ṣé Magodo ni àbí Magodo? Magodo ọgọ́ ni orúkọ tó yẹ kó jẹ́.
Magodo gangan ni
pronunciation
fi ṣe Magodo.
Ẹ ṣé. Aṣòfin tọ̀bùn.
Ẹ ṣé olùdarí, mo dìde láti fi ìdí rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ pé ní òtítọ́ àti lódodo ohun tó wáyé nípàdé gbogbo lé nìyẹn. Ẹ ṣé gan ni.
Ẹ ṣé. Aṣòfin Ṣọ́lájà.
Mo dìde láti gbé lẹ́sẹ̀.
Ẹ ṣé. Gbogbo ẹni tó bá fara mọ́ pé nǹkan tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn kí wọ́n sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Àwọn tí ó fara mọ́ kó sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́, àwọn tó sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ló pọ̀ jùlọ. Olórí ẹgbẹ́ ọmọlé aṣòfin.
Ẹ̀yin ẹlẹgbẹ́ mi, tọkọ̀ bá rùkún tó bá rọ̀sà ó máa padà sí èbúté ni. A ti mú ìjíròrò ìní wá sí èbúté ìsinmi. Mo dẹ̀ ti gba ìyọ̀ǹda lọ́wọ́ olùdarí láti mú ètò ìjókòó wá sí ìpamọ́ ṣùgbọ́n bí a ṣe mọ gbogbo ohun tí ó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ní ìlú wa lórílẹ̀‐èdè wa ìyọ̀ǹda tó fún mi nígbẹ́ láti dábàá pé kí a mú ìjókòó ilé wá sí ìpamọ́ títí di ìgbà tí ilé máa tún pè wá padà láti fún ìjókòó àti fún ìjíròrò èyí tí a máa ń mọ̀ ní òyìnbó sí sinada mo dá alábàábẹ̀ ẹ ṣé.
ẹ ṣé aṣòfin olùwà Fatayo Látúndé.
ẹ ṣé olùdarí mo dìde láti kí àbá náà lẹ́yìn.
ẹ ṣé gbogbo ẹni tó bá fara mọ́ kó sọ wípé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn tí ò fara mọ́ kó sọ wípé bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ àwọn tó sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni náà pọ̀ jùlọ ọkọ̀ tí ròkún dẹ̀ ti rọ̀ṣà ó dẹ̀ ti padà sí èbúté a fi àdàgbẹ́ ètò rọ̀ títí di tí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin bá pe gbogbo wa padà mo gbéra sọ.